If I challenged you to create a list of the most beautiful modern sports cars, I'm pretty sure that the Audi R8 would be on that list. It graced us with its presence starting in 2007. It got a little bit better looking in 2012. Now though, we finally have a new version. Yes, the R8 has been around that long. This is the 2017 version. It's all new. It's the second generation car. And it is goddamn gorgeous. But is it goddamn gorgeous to drive? We're gonna find out, and I'm gonna try not to swear as much as I just did, but no promises. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2017 Audi R8. And it's fucking awesome. This is a pretty brilliant car. We've entered the second generation of Audi's famous R8. They brought it to the world in 2007. It got a facelift in 2012. But now finally, for the 2017 model year, we get a new one. And it's all new. And it's all goddamn wonderful. Out back, right behind my head, more of my shoulders, is a 5.2 liter 10-cylinder engine. It shares the engine with the Lamborghini Huracan. In fact, it shares the engine with the Audi R8 LMS. That's a race car. That's awesome. This car shares just under 50% of its parts with the race car. That's awesome too. It's light, it's sleek, it's gorgeous, it's quick, it's expensive, it sounds good. Backing up that aforementioned V10 is a 7-speed S-tronic. Pretty nice little gearbox. Got paddles here on the steering wheel, I've got a shift lever here in the middle, and it shifts quick enough. Watch, I'm in fourth. Oh, nope, I want third. It's back to fourth. So it shifts pretty crisply. That's a very nice feature. And now this doesn't get the full Corsa mode that the Lamborghini Huracan gets. This car feels a little bit more classy than the Lamborghini, a little bit more classy. The Lamborghini is a little bit more raw, a little bit more raucous, a little bit more expensive. And then the styling is more hard-edged, where this is just kind of like shapely German spaceship. They're similar, but the Lamborghini's more aggressive, and the Audi R8 is just a little bit more refined. So it depends what you want. You're getting two good cars, whichever direction you choose. There are a lot of other things to choose in this class though. You have the Porsche 911 Turbo and Turbo S. You have the Nissan GT-R. You have the McLaren 570S, which is now slumming it with the rest of the relatively poor rich people. You have the Aston Martin V12 Vantage. You have a lot to choose from. You really can't go wrong. Any one of them, you pull up in front of a Starbucks and people are staring instead of ordering like they should be, though they should be looking at the cars too. The Audi kind of falls somewhere in the middle of that pack. It's an excellent driving machine, and it's also beautiful. The Aston Martin makes great noises and is beautiful, but is not as precise. The Porsche and the McLaren are razor sharp, scalpel surgical precision, aggressively shaped, and those cars are just so perfect at what they're designed to do. The Audi is great, but it's not as perfect as them, but it's better looking than them. And it's maybe not as gorgeous as the Aston Martin, but it's better than the Aston Martin in terms of just pure driving experience. Now this here is the V10, as I said, but there's a V10 Plus, and Audi for some reason didn't send that one to me. And I wish they would have, because for a bit more money, you get quite a bit more horsepower. Right here we have 540 horsepower and just under 400 pound-feet of torque on tap. With the Plus, same engine, same gearbox, you get 610 horsepower and 413 pound-feet of torque, and that's awesome. This car, as I'm driving it, will make the dash from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds. The Plus will do it in 3.2. The top speed of this car is 199 miles an hour. The top speed of the Plus is 205. Now, like I said, you're gonna pay to play with the Plus. This one starts at $163,000. As equipped, it's $182, right around there. It's because this suede headliner and the carbon trim is $5 grand. There's carbon lining the engine, that's $5 grand. The optional 20-inch wheels, which look way better than the stock wheels, are gorgeous, and I don't know, those are, a couple grand. There's a dynamic steering system in here that's $1,400. I'd love to experience the car without it because I've heard it's better and that this one saps some of the feeling. And I could see that being possible and true. But I mean, as it sits, this car is a blast to hustle through these canyon roads. Another neat thing about this car is that it has launch control. Launch control! Launch control! Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's how you rip off your 3.5 second run. Very easy to do. You just put the drive select mode into dynamic. You hit one press of the traction control button, which puts it into sport traction. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas. It rises the revs up, dump the brake, off you go. No drama. Quattro all-wheel drive doing its thing. Now speaking of drive select, this car has 4 modes. You know about Audi's drive select, it's been around for a while and it adjusts a number of parameters on the car. Steering, suspension, engine, exhaust note, transmission. The sportier the car, the more parameters it adjusts. Here, it does all the ones I just mentioned. There's an automatic mode which adjusts dynamically to how you're driving in the road conditions. There's a comfort mode which relaxes everything. Dynamic turns everything to dynamic. Germans love the word dynamic. The steering gets tighter, the suspension, if it's magnetically damped, that gets firmer. The transmission shifts more aggressively if you leave it by itself. The engine seems to respond more with better throttle performance, and the exhaust is a little bit more opened up. There's baffles in there. Now there's an individual mode where you can fine tune everything you want. This car has a dual nature where it's borderline luxury car at times in the softest suspension setting. So if you want to relax a bit but still have fun, what I do in individual mode is turn everything to dynamic except suspension to comfort. And the ride is damn near A8 good. It's shockingly good what a well-sorted magnetic suspension can do, and that's the case here. It just feels great. Now, I said it has the dynamic steering system, and there are times it feels a little lighter than it should be in corners, but it really sticks really well. Those 20-inch wheels have massive sticky rubber on them. The one thing this version has over the Plus is it comes standard with a 13-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's an optional extra on the Plus, so you can get it on the Plus, but it comes standard here. They have to throw you some bone. The Plus gets a fixed rear wing where this has a tucked in one that can move up and down. The Plus gets the Sigma side blades, which this actually has the optional carbon Sigma side blades. That one has a different front lip. Interestingly though, comparing this back to the Huracan has a nose lift system because it's super low and you will scrape everywhere you go. This does not have a nose lift system, and I have not scraped anywhere. So it's more livable in a sense than the Lamborghini, I guess. And it is supremely comfortable. I'm 6'3", 215 because I lost some weight, and I fit fine. I am at the limit though. If you are bigger than me, you probably won't be comfortable in here. I'm kind of it. Now you can play with the traction control. If you put it in sport, it will actually give you a little bit of slip. Quattro is normally a very front bias system. They know that you don't want that in a car like this. This is a rear engine sports car that has all-wheel drive, but you want some rear drive characteristics. They've dialed that in. It can send plenty of the torque to the rear end where you can kick the rear end out in certain corners, and if you're on a track pushing it hard and you're not overstepping the boundaries of the traction control, it'll let you step it out. And it'll let you fully turn off traction control, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm not on a racetrack and I don't know what the limits of this car are, and I don't wanna write a check that definitely won't go through. I could write it, but don't try to cash it. So there you have it, folks. This is the 2017 Audi R8. I hope you can see and agree with me that this is one goddamn wonderful machine. This thing is fantastic. Audi has nailed it with the second generation car. Imagine if this was the Plus. I'm having this much fun with the detuned, not as fun base R8. I've spent about an hour or so driving a Plus prior, and it is a little bit more wicked. It is noticeable. It is worth the extra money. But this one here, if you buy the regular car, you've bought a wonderful car. And you're amongst other wonderful cars in your segment. We live in a glorious time, and this car is proof of that. This is a... The Porsche and the McLaren are razor sharp, scalpel surgical precision, blah blah, more words that mean aggressively shaped, and we are not on the Hooniverse Highway hooning grounds. We are instead somewhere else. We're trying out a different road, and I got to get back to it because now I've wandered into a little bit of other people. That's how you describe hell, I believe.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who drive the Audi R8s. So let's start living. There are people dying. If you get it, make it better right for me and for you. Let's use the Zoom.